Burn my house to the ground! My family's dead! What do I do? I'm gonna find you, motherfucker. I'm gonna find.
Now, most of you probably know me as the Spider-Man guy, but I enjoy many things, like anime. I like watching good anime. As you know, there are some that are shit. It makes you wonder what makes them popular in the first place.
Not in this house.
Yeah, me myself, I've seen my fair share of overrated garbage. Overrated shit.
Bullshit.
Meh. This is not one of them. It's good to be back.
Good to be back.
Oh yeah, the topic for today's video is Kimetsu no Yaiba, or if you're white and you can't say that, Demon Slayer. Isn't that right, Tiz?
I approve of this message.
Yeah, we're taking a step back from Marvel. I like other shit, you know what I'm saying? What can I say about Demon Slayer, dude? Fantastic animations, some of the best character designs I've ever seen in recent times, a good story. People fucking hate this show. It's overrated, it's mid. Now I want you guys to understand, if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. I like Demon Slayer, so I'm not just gonna review one figure today, I'm gonna review all of them. Except not all of them, because if I do, I'll go broke. So I'm gonna review the ones that I currently have and make this a little series. Today we're gonna focus on the main character, Tanjiro Kamado. So this is Tanjiro Kamado, and this figure is made by Figma. Now, admittedly, Figma can be pretty hit or miss sometimes, but I actually think they did a good job here. And you know, the box is pretty fancy. It's got this sleeve covering it, you know, it's got a bunch of stuff inside, very fancy looking. Maybe it's to drive home the fact that this is a deluxe figure. Yeah, the version I'm reviewing today is the deluxe version, as there's also a regular version with less stuff. But whichever version you get, this figure is very cool. And here's a look at his face, and I gotta say, it does look just like Tanjiro Kamado. And it actually looks good, you know, an anime character in 3D, you know, without it looking like this. And this is what Figma does best. They make the figures look like they jumped right out of the anime, and this figure is no exception. The eyes especially are done beautiful, which is more than what I can say about the Buzzmod figure. Everything is here, like the scar on his forehead and his luscious fiery brown hair, which unlike other anime protagonists, you can actually rock this haircut yourself without looking like a fucking idiot. And Tanjiro's Hanafuda earrings, which as you can see aren't really accurate to the show, but that's probably not because they got lazy. It's more the fact that the rising sun in Japan kinda has a complicated meaning, so I think that's just them avoiding getting cancelled. And that is Tanjiro's smiling face. They did a good job capturing Tanjiro's very kind demeanor he has throughout the show, because when your family gets murdered by Michael Jackson, and you gotta kill demons to find a cure for your sister who got turned into a demon, and your two friends are so dumb they might as well be sharing one brain cell, you always gotta keep that positive attitude. It's not much, but it's very refreshing for a shonen protagonist to not be a fucking meathead and be like, hey guys, I want to be the strongest, and also I'm very loud. Ah! Oh yeah, the rest of him looks nice too. They painted every detail, like the silver on the buttons and the white on his Demon Slayer uniform, as well as giving the sheath a sort of metal finish. And his baggy pants actually look like baggy pants instead of, you know, clown pants. Some silver here and chunklet detail. Tanjiro's Harori is very interesting. It's not so much green as it is a greenish blue color. The paint is mostly good except for some chips on his right side. That could have been my fault though, I mean, you know I'm a little rough with my figures. Now Tanjiro obviously has this big, loose-fitting jacket on him. You would think that Figma would make the coat out of cloth, fabric goods. They could try and make it out of plastic, But that's kind of impossible. Like, how do you make a long plastic coat that somehow looks good and gets out of the way of the articulation? Hey, look at that, they actually pulled it off. They segmented the coat in a few areas. They even managed to make his big sleeves look natural somehow. And even with the coat cut up and segmented into these pieces, when you take a look at Tanjiro just standing there, he looks fantastic. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I would have preferred if they just made the Tanjiro figure a standard Figma and then make his Harori out of cloth material, which Figma does sometimes, but not all the time, which kind of pisses me off a little bit. You still gotta commend the engineering they put into this figure. Speaking of engineering, alright, this is where it gets kinda nuts. The engineering on this figure for the articulation is fucking crazy. I'm not even kidding, they put their whole pussy into this figure. The head, it's on a standard Figma joint, so he looks up, he looks down, left, right, and he has a joint at the base of his neck. It really gets you that extra movement. And his shoulders are on a hybrid ball joint and hinge, so you know, you get lots of movement there too. You got the elbow joint, you got your wrist joints, you even got a rotation at the sleeve, so no matter what pose you have it in, you can rotate the sleeve, make it not look goofy. Now here's where things get bananas. He has an armpit joint, but it's disguised as the top part of his coat. So when you bring his arms forward, it looks like his coat is just covering more of his body. And you can make him hold his sword with 2 hands. Oh my god. And it doesn't end there, fellas. He's got a joint at his mid-torso, and he's got a ball-jointed waist, so you can crunch him even more forward. But Mr. Criminal, I hear you asking, what about the back part of his coat? Doesn't that shit get in the way? Hell no, it doesn't. These 2 big-ass pieces are on hinges, so just move them up and they're out of the way. Just don't look at his back from up there. It's kinda messy. His hips are on drop down, so you know, move him forward, move him out, and then put him back up. And he's got these double jointed knees. And this is a brand new joint they made specifically for this line of figures. You can bend his knees almost all the way in. Now yes, the back of his legs do look a little weird, but honestly, who cares?
I don't mean it metaphorically or rhetorically or poetically or theoretically or in any other fancy way. I'm gay.
Then you got a swivel at the calf. You got a ball joint hinge combo at his ankles. And oh, would you look at that? A toe joint. Now to me and you, this is pretty standard toe articulation. But to Marvel Legends collectors, their minds are fucking blown right now. My Tanjiro can do this and your Spider-Man can't. That is some crazy ass engineering, which means crazy ass poses. It's insane. And when you have the back of his coat lifted up, it looks like it's flapping in the wind. But then you put it back down and it looks natural. The figure's made up of these intricate little pieces all put together. You would think he would be a fucking mess of parts. Kinda like the old Revoltech Spider-Man. But no, this figure's badass. Well, almost. He does take a minute to kinda get used to, posing him around and stuff. If you're an import collector, you pretty much know what to expect. If you mainly collect Marvel Legends, then I'd recommend taking a day to get to know the figure. It's like getting to know a girl you go on a date with.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
So this is everything the standard version of Tanjiro comes with. You get a pair of fists, open hands, super open hands, or force choke hands, and a pair of hands to hold his sword. Speaking of the sword, here it is. Very nice black paint on the blade. They painted the small details on the grip, and silver on the pommel. Here's the guard of the sword, so this is definitely the sword he has in the anime right now, and I won't elaborate on that. It's also very sharp, so you know, you can cut yourself. You get this piece, which is just the handle, and this left hand, and these make it so that Tanjiro looks like he's holding his sheathed sword. As far as the faces go, he comes with this stoic face, a very happy face, and one where he is absolutely fucking pissed. And you get the Figma stand. A very nice set of accessories, and this all comes with the basic version of the figure. And I gotta say, that's a good amount of accessories right there. I think any normal collector would be satisfied. I am not normal. I bought the DX figure, so that means I get more shit. He comes with this fucking bamboozled face. Oh my god, look at him. He looks petrified. I wonder what he's looking at. I understand, son. You get this water-breathing effect part, which looks beautiful, and it's sculpted in a slashing motion. And you get the fire version, which looks equally as good. The paint on these effects are just outstanding. And they are made to where you can just slide the sword right into them, but honestly, it's a very tight fit. Pause on that, but anyway, yeah, I'd say be careful when putting this on. You might want to lube it up. And as cool as this looks, his sword really can't support this thing in most poses. So now you get this included add-on piece for the stand. It can move up and down, turn, and has 2 ball joints with a clip at the end. As you can see, one of my ball joints looks messed up. I dropped this thing and this part started cracking, so I just covered it in super glue and it works for now, but it's kind of loose. So pretty much what you're supposed to do is grab your Tanjiro, put on the effect part, put him in the stand, and then attach the effect part to the support on the back of the stand, all the while being extremely careful not to break anything and making sure everything is lined up. If that sounds tedious as shit, that's because it is. I mean, it works once you get everything together, but it's such a finicky process, and they kind of overcomplicated it, so most of the time, I don't even bother with these effect parts. I wish these were just separate effects with their own stand, kind of like other Demon Slayer figures. Not that these effects don't look cool or anything. You can get some pretty nice poses with this system, I just don't bother most of the time. And oh my god, the fire effect. I am so sorry if you didn't watch the episode where he first did this move, because it was the most beautiful and awesome things I have ever seen. If you watch the show, you know that this shit broke the internet back in 2019. Oh yeah, and he comes with Nezuko. And if you need a place to put all this shit, then you put it in the included sandwich bag. It also comes with an extra wrist joint in case you break it, so yeah, they thought of everything. Or did they? Because they forgot one important accessory that should have came with this figure. The box! The fucking box he built in like the second episode! This is where Nezuko, his sister, is throughout most of the show, and they didn't include it with this figure. You had to buy the Nezuko figure in order to get this box. Not just the Nezuko, the DX version. Oh, come on. Only Hasbro pulls shit like this, not a Japanese import company. Oh, wait. The figure stands about 5 inches tall, so let's see him compared to some other anime protagonists. Here he is next to the SH Figuarts Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, the Reveltech Amazing Yamaguchi Deku, and the SH Figuarts Naruto. Here is Anya Forger, who can solo the entire verse, and here he is next to Spider-Man and Aqua. And for no reason at all, here he is next to the SH Figuarts.
Who's on Kibutsuchi?
Huh?
This motherfucker got them big keys!
Oh no, bro.
I gotta get out of here!
Come back here, you son of a bitch! You fucking coward! Fucking shit! You fucking piece of fucking shit! Suck a fucking shit! You fuck! You can go suck my dick, you stupid ass fucking piece of shit! Tanjiro, shut up!
And when it's all said and done, I like this figure about as much as I like the show. Which is a lot. I mean, I like it a lot. The painting and sculpting is absolutely fantastic, and dude, the engineering is superb. The posability and articulation allows for some great playtime. This is definitely one of those figures you can pose around for hours. There is another Tanjiro figure out there. It's called the Buzzmod Tanjiro from Aniplex. I know I kind of made fun of that figure, mainly for the face, but honestly, that figure is good in its own way. I don't have it though, otherwise I'd be eating Little Caesars for the rest of my life, if you know what I'm saying. So if you want to see a good review on that figure, go ahead and check out the video by my good friend Animated Heroes. So yeah, I love this figure, and if I have convinced you to want to go and hunt this figure down, well, shit, homie, I'm sorry. Yeah, he goes for quite a bit online, about 100 to 130, Jesus Christ. And he's currently not in stock anywhere, so you're gonna want to hit up the old eBay and Mercari for that one. Just be on the lookout for bootlegs. There's only bootlegs of the DX version. And the DX version is really cool. I really like all the accessories, I really do. But at the end of the day, I think you're fine with just the regular release of this figure. But no matter which version you get, I promise you will not be disappointed. I remember being so excited when I first unboxed this figure on my channel a year ago. I wasn't disappointed then, and I'm not now. This figure is the tits, and I can't wait to review the rest, I think. So there you go, a great figure and a good start to a wonderful line. But you know, after listening to some comments I've received and everything, I do have to admit, Demon Slayer, maybe it is a little bit carried by animation, you know? Like, if it wasn't there, would I still like the show? I'm not really too sure. Oh, wait a second, that argument's invalid. Shit, I fucking read it! Yeah, I fucking read. I read the shit, still fire. Fire as fuck, even without the beautiful animation. Fuck you, your argument's invalid. The show's awesome. Peak fiction. You lose! Good day, sir.